So, Brandon, I'm telling you right now, here's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm applying the trait mega super awesome commentator.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm putting on.
Yeah, I won't really check that.
And next thing we're going to do is I'm going to own Gen Con. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to own Gen Con.
Can we do a reality check
that's
on
a
that?
reality check on that,
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't think so.
Come on. No?
No.
Nah.
Maybe next
Well-
sport.
That is, in essence, how Power Play goes. Power Play Schemes and Skullduggery is a game published by Level 99 Games, which you guys know, Pixel Tactics, 7-card Slugfest, really good games.
Yeah,
and Level 99 really tries to not try to stick to one genre, but try to spread out and bring interesting concept games. So Power Play is very much a competitive storytelling game. So we're not rolling dice too much, except for some of the when it comes down to conflicts. There's no cards really that we're playing from a hand. It's all telling a story, and it's set in a futuristic. If I had to think, come together of a mashup, Sin City meets X-Men. So you got a dark and gritty kind of almost cyberpunk style future, in which mutants are known, but they're hunted down. And so there's this kind of secret conspiracy network going on. And it's up to us to make our play for whatever the mission is. And it all involves specific common items. So, we all might be after a briefcase, but for different reasons. You might want to open up the contents on live on TV. You might want to try to get rid of all of the evidence by exploding it. So there's, we all have secret goals, which we're not allowed to tell anybody, but we're trying to make moves through storytelling to get to that goal. For me, I really dug it. I'm an imaginative, creative guy, and it essentially, much like games like Minecraft, the world is totally undefined until we paint that picture. It's up to us to create the world around it. And so I really love this type of game for that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So one of the things I extremely love is, even if you fail at applying a trait or giving something to somebody or doing a part of your storytelling, you can still have a chance to have it happen. For example, you can say, I own Gen Con. And we're like, no, you don't own Gen Con. Well, you can roll 2 6-sided dice, and if you get a 5 or a 6, it happens.
Yep. I agree with you. I like that it's almost like a court of appeals. So, I'm going to try to add to this story. You guys, I don't think so. And you'd be like, you know what? I really do think so. And luck is on my side to say that that's going to happen. Right. And it's beautiful, especially in a storytelling game.
For me, I'm not really much of a creative guy. So something like this, when I first heard the game, when you explained it to me, it was like, But when I actually looked at it and played it, I like the fact that you could really just, even if you're not creative, you can still get a little creative with it. Use your imagination, and you don't have to really sit down and think of something over creative. You could be really basic.
Like you're really good at rolling. Like if I'm coming up with a good story plot to it, you're really good at being responsive to those. And so yes, you don't need to be the super creative kind of guy, but if you're able to roll with a story that's being told, you're going to really feel like this is the game for you.
Right. You don't have to be like a William Shakespeare, Edgar Allan Poe for this game.
Right.
You just be a very basic person. Just say, I feel like doing this.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that in the game, it only asks you to add a trait, but more times than not, we find ourselves adding tons of flavor text around it as to how that trait got assigned. Like we can say that the briefcase is under surveillance, but we don't just say the briefcase is under surveillance. We normally go outlandish and say the briefcase is under surveillance. There's like a mafia group sitting there waiting to shoot down anybody who tries to take it.
Snipers on the
there's
towers.
Like snipers on top of the towers.
The
or whatever.
mob boss is holding on to it, or no, it's underneath a seat and all that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, you could have a very base level creativity, but the game just truly comes alive the more detailed and that you make the world around it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For me, one of the other things I liked, while I am a creative guy, sometimes I like to at least be given a general direction to go. And with Power Play, they included first a demo to get you into the game.
yeah.
Because
That was fun.
I don't know if you guys remember. I mean, the book for the rules like 87 pages, and it was kind of intimidating
lot.
right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
But they handled that. Like within the first couple pages, they're like, all right, we get that the rest of this book is going to be a lot of what ifs and how to handle scenarios. But let's throw you into the game with a very simple premise.
Yeah.
And it did an amazing job of getting us all to understand the concept of the game and what the game's about. But they didn't stop at that. So after we got to the game, we mastered that first demo scenario over and over again. We're all kind of like, well, we could randomize it up, but it didn't feel right.
Right.
But they came with a second book that says, here's a whole different set of scenarios from like, you know, here's a classic movie monster like Frankenstein's monster truly came alive again, and it's up to us to stop him. You know, or you have this religious figure who's adored by many. Someone's out to kill him, so you have to protect him. You know, I dig that they included that in there, and they didn't have to. But I think when you have a game like this where you truly are sandboxing it up, it was worth it to have something there in the event that you're just drawing a brain fart and you just want to be able to just rely on something, especially with newcomers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
So is there anything you didn't like about the game?
The only thing I would have to say that I don't like about the game, it's not really the game, it's more like just what ends up happening when people are playing, is that, you know, sometimes you can get so into the storytelling that you kind of just have to stop for a second and realign yourself and be like, what is my objective really quick? Because I have to make sure that I'm doing that. Do I have to wrap it in wrapping paper? Then, okay, cool. I need to stop, you know, messing around in the stadium and doing all this really cool stuff. Another thing, too, is that people can really easily invalidate your actions if you're winning. You know, so if I see you winning, of course I'm going to say, oh, reality check. And everybody, of course, is going to vote for me because you're the one who's winning.
Right.
So.
And I think that much like what we try to do is we try to relegate back and rein in the overuse of reality checks to make sure that you're reality checking because it's truly outlandish and not because I just don't want you to win.
Right.
You
Can
know,
it actually happen?
but it would be nice to see more of a clarification in the rules that state here's the rules for using reality check outside of just leaving it too open-ended for you.
Right.
But at least they let you roll. You still have a
Correct.
chance.
Correct. So what do you got?
So, my thing is, when it came down to the goals, it was really hard for us because when we had to create the goals, you know, we had to come up, be creative with the goals. Some of us made really simple goals. Some of us became detailed goals, like we had a paragraph or 2 paragraphs on what you had to do. Get really specific on it. And, I mean, which is great and all because you can create the goals, come up with something different from other people. But this is a chance you'll get your own goal when you're trying to make it for everybody else. I mean, like the last time we played, it was really hard for us because the first time we played, we had a set of goals that were created and said, here you go, do this. When we created them as a group, it was kind of one of those.
You had the guy who's like, I'm going to make a cupcake, and you got to find the world's greatest baker to decorate it. And it got out of hand. You're right.
Yeah.
And I think that there could be more examples of secret goals that they could put out outside of the demos.
Right. They could create, even if it's just like a small 16-card deck of example goals or just goals that go throughout each individual game.
Absolutely.
That it would work great.
Yep. And for me, kind of segues into one of the things I didn't like. I thought that it was too easy to recognize whose pieces of paper were whom's based on the sizes, like we tore them up. And I would love to see, and it wouldn't cost a whole lot, to get a couple of cards that were laminated, and we could go out and buy some dry erase markers and just reuse them over and over again.
them.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And it doesn't. It's hard to tell. Did I give you mine, or did you get his, or wherever it went? So I thought about that. But one of the other secondary things that we also touched on a different game that we reviewed in the past was these cards are elongated, and they're almost ice cream bar sized.
Right.
And it'd be nice to be able to have, again, some card sleeves that fit them because, again, you spend a couple of months playing this game, once every other week, and these cards could get bad. And I really hate to see those go that way because you lose one card in this, and that's the
That's
game.
like the whole game.
Because then you got to go out and buy another copy or something.
Yep. So your takeaway on this?
So this is a game that is totally for people who are really into storytelling and are really kind of like the more hardcore gamer who want to sit around and and try to play maybe like an hour long. You know, it's not a really quick, let's just play this for simple fun kind of game.
Yep.
And like I said, you know, if they created like a couple of just pre-made goals, no problem, make the game a little bit better. But from my standpoint, I'm not one to be creative. But playing this game really gave me a chance to, you know, understand what's going on, get creative with it. And I really enjoyed that. That actually brought out a bit more of a creative side to me. So
Yeah, I agree. I think this game certainly has its niche, and that niche is the creative storyteller. If you've got a bunch of friends of yours, at least one of them should be that guy, so everybody else can kind of feed off it. But other than that, I'm a fan of it. Like I love those types of games, and I think if you're into that storytelling kind of genre of games, this is a perfect addition to your group.
yeah, totally. So. Absolutely.
All right. Thanks again for joining us, and if you like what you see, you can always subscribe to our channel. Thank you. You guys ready?
Oh, I'm not.
I suppose we are.
I'm not. Let me get
Words and things and go.
Let me unfat my shirt real quick. Okay. That's a thing. That's a thing.
Everybody all unfatted and ready to rock. It's go time.
Keep it loose, you're safe.
All right. So welcome again, guys, to Noob Source, and we're going to redo that again. Yep. So yeah, so 3, Jerry, come on in.
I suppose I have to.
I'm not gonna get all rapey till later.
Until later. I mean,
I'm not gonna get rapey till later.
sure I was drugged before I came here.
Knock it off. We're getting it.
Okay.
Ready? So, guys, Sentinels. I'm a superhero fiend. You know, I don't know if you can tell with the Captain America going on here, but like,
He's not in this game.
Unfortunately, this is my wife's. You know, she's into it's her thing is for the Marvel side. I'm more the DC side, but Sentinels. What I